Well, it's the end of day I don't even know what day it is.
I grew up in Wisconsin, a small town just north of Milwaukee. If there's one thing that I got from the Midwest, it's a tolerance of cold.
I think with the wind chill it was close to 60 below. So with that, I'm going in the tent because, as you can see, it's not pleasant out here.
For as long as I can remember, I've really been interested and passionate about cold and snow and the coldest places on our planet. And so really my mission and what my life is all about is trying to tell a story what I consider some of the last great frozen places left on the planet before they're gone. Mallory's famous quote was, "Because it's there." In my mind, my expeditions really aren't about discovering uncharted territory. You know, the world has been mapped and discovered for quite a while now. What I feel the job of an expedition and kind of my place in the adventure world is to really talk about these places before they're gone. I kind of occupy a space in the outdoor world that not a lot of people know about, polar travel, and so there's not a big community of support and people to talk to. I did my first North Pole expedition in 2006, and just in the past 4 years since my second trip in 2010, the character and the nature of the sea ice has changed dramatically. The ice is considerably thinner. There's much more rough ice, which is an indicator of thin ice as well. It breaks up more easily than it used to.
Oh, that scared me.
We experienced in 2010 just these random drifts where we're going north, south, east, and west, and really just affected by the wind, this huge ice in the Arctic Ocean, and that's really a function of less landlocked ice too, so just the extent of the sea ice has diminished dramatically. We're definitely fighting an uphill battle, but I think it's foolish to think that we don't have the ability to make any sort of change. So many times on an expedition, you know, you're tired, you're hungry, you're scared, there's this overwhelming obstacle that you're trying to accomplish, and you know, you figure it out and you make it happen. And I do feel like people have an amazing ability to overcome odds, and I think we need to remember that we can solve this problem. Polar travel is some of the hardest kind of expedition style travel, and to keep moving towards these arbitrary targets every day is really messes with your mind.
And right now I am freezing. It's about 35 below with the wind chill.
Right around day 40 of a trip, I start really, you just kind of let go a little bit. Like physically the trip is much harder, you're kind of at this crux, but you've still probably got at least 2 or 3 more weeks left of travel, and so like that's an intense time, and to be like stressed out about that is really detrimental to your ability to move forward. And so right around that time frame, I think your mind just lets go, and you're able to cope with a lot of stuff because you don't care. It seems kind of negative, but it's a positive thing because it allows you to focus on the task at hand, which is just physically moving in that really harsh environment. And then also you're able to enjoy it a little bit because you're like, you know what? I'm not stressed about this. If something happens, that's just how it is. I really want to get back and do another North Pole expedition because I feel like in another couple years, it's not going to be possible. And there's some really cool stories to tell about the Arctic Ocean and the ice there, the environment, and what it's like to travel there. And these expeditions aren't like a couple days or a couple weeks, they're 2 months of just constant work. And so you're kind of operating this overarching like weariness the whole time. And so trying to find the joy in any sort of given moment can be really difficult. That said, these are incredible places, and traveling, you know, human-powered on the land and these huge vast spaces and like ice chunks and, you know, the snowdrifts and this nearly unlimited horizon, and you know, you really gain a better understanding of what that place is like, and that's a pretty meaningful experience as well.
Up, down, up.